everybody I know is like me. They're miserable. They go to 7-Eleven and go home at night. That's those are people I know.
So you're not married?
No, not married.
No girlfriend? Nobody interesting you?
I got absolutely nothing going on. I work constantly. One of these days, something will fall through,
Well,
and then
yeah,
I'll be
you
like,
do need to make time if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're fun. I always wanted Berlin to be for adults. I always wanted it to be a band where kids could listen to it and be excited to get older.
Right.
Because there weren't many of those kind of bands, and for me, the older people I knew when I was a kid, it didn't look fun getting older. They were unhappy. They were bitter. They were fat. They were not healthy. They were in dead-end jobs. It didn't seem like this was a good thing to get older. But I wanted to be excited about getting older because we do, and most of our lives is as adults. So why not glorify the fun and the enjoyment that you can have only as an adult? Why not play that up in a band? So that was a lot of what I wanted Berlin to be about, and we still are.
Yeah, I've seen some of your outfits that you're wearing on stage, on YouTube. You have no idea. You have a legion of young guys, because I read the comments, and I just sort of envision these guys that are, in their teens or early 20s, and they're writing things like, "Who is that?" In this sort of hopeful, starstruck way that, teens and 20s can be.
Well, thank you, David.
They're like,
I appreciate it.
Are there any more videos that we can look at? A lot of stuff like that. My question to you, though, I mentioned the Foreplay record and the Voyeur record from 2002.
Yeah, I'll send you Voyeur.
That would be great, because, now I'm reading it, and I'm like, I can't believe this. How did I miss this record?
That was 2002, yeah.
Yeah, but Foreplay I have, and that was a few years ago. That's 2005, that record.
Yes.
So that's my next question. I mean, is there anything cooking?
There is now.
Uh-huh.
Last year, I should have been working on a new record.
Right.
But I was dead creatively. I lost my mom in April of last year, and I've split up with my songwriting partner of the previous two records last year, too. I knew that I should find somebody new and I should get going because, 3 years is pretty standard for me. But I had nothing. I was dead creatively. But this year, I found somebody that I really enjoy writing with, actually a few people, and a great producer. I've been fortunate to meet some really great talent. So I'm feeling inspired again working with these people, and there will be something. By 2009, we'll have another record out.
Excellent. Because that's what everybody asked me, because, we played Scream a lot, like we just pretended, like this is the single, and we just played it. And everybody was like, "Oh, Berlin are back," and then when's the next one coming? So this is really good that you're, we'll definitely have something next year. And, before I let you go, because I promised Joy, I said, it'd be 10 minutes, and already I see we've talked for like 20. Thinking back to the beginning of Berlin, what do you think, what song first broke the band? Was it the Metro?
Yeah,
83?
the Metro broke it for us. What I noticed, at least with this band and talking to other bands as we meet them and kibitz and go on tour together and swap war stories, the thing about making music together is it's completely off the cuff. You don't know what's going to happen. You have general styles that you all like and influences that you all have, and then you just kind of try stuff, and you see what happens, and things hit and some things don't. But in the process, there's usually a song that you go, oh, my God, that's the direction. That's it. That. We like that. We like everything about it. We like the words work and the music's whatever we're going for. It's just that's working. And then you make that, like we made that the center of the rest of that music that we made at the time that became Pleasure Victim.
Right.
But at the time, we just thought it would be a bunch of demos that would get us a record deal. We didn't know it was an album. But when we wrote the Metro and played that as a band, we knew that is where we're going. So that I'd have to say was the beginning of our identity. Mm-hmm. We knew who we liked. We wanted to be like Kraftwerk. We wanted to be like Ultravox. We loved the electronic sound. We knew where we were kind of headed, but not really who we were until the Metro.
Now, did that break on K-Rock out there?
The Metro was, yes, it was first played on K-Rock. Sex Ima blew us out of the water. They tried it with Metro, and it fit. Mm-hmm. But then when we handed them Sex Ima, that was the explosion. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, the Metro was played on another station by a all-night DJ named Richard Blade. He was at the time at a station called KNAC.
Okay.
They were dabbling in that kind of music, and he was there as the graveyard shift DJ. And he took Metro and played it on that station, and then he was pounding on the door of a new station just starting in Los Angeles called K-Rock. He finally got his foot in the door there, and he brought our little single with him to play at K-Rock. So that helped to start the whole thing rolling, but it was Sex Ima when we gave him that, and he started playing that. It blew everything out of the water. Oh, my God. We sold 25,000 copies of our little record in a month. And then the record labels, who all laughed at us before then, came around again.
Isn't it amazing, though, when you're recording the Pleasure Victim record, which, maybe you can clear up a mystery. Is it an album or an EP?
Technically, it's an EP.
Right. Because it's only 7 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, it's an EP.
I think the CD reissue throws the extended mix of Sex Ima on there.
Right.
But imagine that, you're doing that record, and here in 2008, like, you can walk into a record store and it's still in print.
Yeah.
And you
just don't. Yeah, you never know what's going to stick or what's not. It's like these songs have little lives of their own, little births and deaths of their own, and there's no way we can control that. It's interesting.
But really,
the Metro is just. I mean, the Metro is the reason I'm singing with Camp Freddy.
Yeah.
They said that Courtney Love was doing a show with them one night, and she demanded they learn Metro. They didn't know it and didn't want to learn it. She said, well, you either learn it or I'm not going to sing tonight. So they did, and then the leader, Billy Morrison, called me and said, well, we know this song now. We really like it. We do it really good. Why don't you come down and sing it with us? Well, that was the beginning of, my God, because of Camp Freddy and that experience. Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, I know that it's sort of like, I guess, a sort of metal cabaret. Am I way off on that?
Well, in a way. I mean, they all come from very hard rock bands, yeah. The band itself, which is Dave Navarro, Chris Chaney from Jane's Addiction, Matt Sorums, obviously, from Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver now,
right,
and Billy Morrison from The Cult. That's the band, and then they invite all their friends to come down and do whatever we want.
Right.
So one show, let me think of a show. Steven Tyler, Scott Weiland, Macy Gray, Mark McGrath, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains,
right,
Billy Duffy, Slash. We just get together, and there's no agenda. There's no need to be number one. There's no need for a hit. There's no need for anything except to do what we feel like doing because it's fun. And do it with the best players in the world.
Right.
So it's because of them, I came up with our concept that we're putting together for 2009 called Girls Night Out, which is the same concept, but it focuses on women. And so far, the reaction to that from the artists has been overwhelming. So far, we've got, I get the people up in my brain, Melissa Etheridge, Fergie, Amy Lee from Evanescence, Shirley Manson, Joss Stone, Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, Carole King, Reba McEntire, Heart, the Bangles, the Pussycat Dolls. I mean, all these women are so excited to do something where we sing not just on the same bill, but sing together.
Wow.
That's the idea.
What do you think of, before I let you go, and I don't know what kind of schedule you got, I've been just rolling tape here, but yeah, sometimes I feel bad because I look and I'm like, I told them 10 minutes and now it's like 30. It's like I'm the greediest bastard in the world. What do you think about the synth sound sort of coming back? Have you noticed that, like, in the past couple of years?
I love it. The Killers, Interpol,
right.
Goldfrapp. I love it. I love it because it never really went away. I think electronic music to me is still the most interesting because you can do so much with it. It's unlimited in what it can be. Before electronic music, there was a rock band, which was bass, drums, guitar, vocals,
right,
and a keyboard maybe. But that was it. That was the sounds. That's what you got. You work with that. You could do lots of combinations. But if I never hear another guitar solo in my life, I'm good. You know, we heard it. We heard enough guitar solos. We heard enough drum solos. We heard some bass solos that we wish we had never heard. And yet with electronic music, you can do anything. So once we started with that, then it went into industrial, it went into ambient, it went into Moby and Nine Inch Nails and the Sneaker Pimps, and so many different directions that I love it. And now it's just, you know, now it sounds new to go back on itself, to go back to what it originally started to be. I love it. I don't think we've even come close to finishing with the electronic revolution. It's just the thought of being able to put any sound I want into anything I write is pretty freeing. And that is, to me, what electronic music did. It created the ability to put anything into music and make it music.
Well, Terri, this has been great.
Oh, thank you, David.
It's been...
And you know what else, David? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for playing Scream. I really appreciate that.
Oh, sure.